Get the fuck out of here.
There she goes right down. There she is. There she goes. There she is. There she goes. SeaWorld lit. High feet. Say that shit with us, y'all. Say it. One more again, y'all. High feet. Come on, tell me when to count. Tell me when to. Come on, tell me when to count.
Hey. Okay. Jesus Christ had dread straight.
Yeah. All right. You ready to get into it? Let's go.
Pro Jay-Z, they're usually shitting on Drake. What online is, because now everything they try to throw me into, they throw Drake into like we're teammates, right? Drake's my man's. He gave me a chain like that's my man's. But you know, I was just a big fan of his. I supported him doing some really tough moments in his career. That's why I got to change.
Okay, I'm talking about Sam over here. Okay. I've never liked Drake's music. You know that.
All right, bet.
So who could pay me to hate Drake?
No, we never said that. But what I'm saying is that now the internet is breaking. Okay. Where there's teams.
And I think that's silly.
Well, it's not about if it's silly or not, is it happening? These days you're realizing the people who are super pro Jay-Z, they're usually shitting on Drake. The people who are usually
you can have your opinion about an artist. I can have my opinion about an artist. That don't mean the fan bases got to hate each other. That's some Republican Democrat shit.
Yeah, but all this, I told you, it started with Kendrick and Drake.
That's
hip-hop is never...
You help fuel that too.
How I help fuel that?
You help fuel that divide. Because...
Keep in mind, the first time George was that shit...
Man, I'm in South Korea by myself. I've been waiting to do this shit my whole life, lit boy. Come here, I'll tell you where I'm at. I'll meet you at the studio anywhere. I will beat the fuck out you, nigga. As on my daughters, hey, I beat the piss out you. You a little boy. I remember you. You was a hoe, and you know. You niggas and people. Man, you niggas ain't no fucking gangsters. That's why y'all can walk around the states like that. Say, Pluto ain't no fucking gangster. Dude don't run around without no fucking security, especially not more than me. My boy.
Because
they pull up on me at a concert.
Because instead of just letting Drake get belt to ass, right?
You think I'm gonna let my man get jumped?
Okay. Microphone check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me get that up here. Microphone check. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Let's see. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. Can you hear me now? If you can hear me, let me pull something out. This isn't a good start. This isn't a good start. I'm not going to back out either, because if I back out, it's not going to be good. Add a scene. It's not going to be good. Okay. I need Lane to tell me if he can hear me or not. Keep audio. I think he can hear me. Okay. Thank God that came in slow. Sorry for the lag. Yeah, so we've had a lot developed since the last time I streamed. So I wanted to just hop on here, really kind of just shoot the shit with you guys and see, you know, there's a myriad of topics. We can go a lot of avenues. Really a lot to talk about. Connor made his return yesterday. Short-lived. Shit, I don't even know if we talk. I guess I was on since the UFC 250 fight, but you know, you got the Nolan Wells situation going on down in Mississippi. You got the Charlie Kirk trial beginning. You got the war continuing. The Strait of Hormuz is blocked again. Excursions going on there. You got the Russia-Ukraine stuff popping off again, or still, I should say. And there's a lot of avenues. But I guess where I wanted to start, since I guess I am I am supposed to be I'm hosting this, right? So where I wanted to start was kind of this hip hop, what's going on in hip hop a little bit here. So you see here, you got Future, who released an album. His I don't even know if it was long awaited album, right? Because he just has come off of 2 years ago. We Don't Trust You and We Don't Trust You Too with Metro Boomin, and we see Future take a definite left on this one with no Metro Boomin productions listed on here at all. And well, I mean, I'll ask you guys, what do you think? You know, what do you think? What's the conversation going to be surrounding this album? Are we going to let Future get away with like sliding under our nose again? Because I've been saying since the battle, even though Future lended the rope for Kendrick to bounce off of and jump on the Drake's ass. So I should be saluting Future in ways. I didn't like how he moved post beef. I definitely told you guys I didn't like the rant to Atlanta. I feel like Future not having to answer for anything out of all three. Because here's the thing. He doesn't have to answer for his role in all three of it, because we don't want to attach it to his character that he's playing, the Future thing. We don't the three of them, Cole, Kendrick, and Drake, get judged at such different standards than the rest of the field. This is where I'm like, you know, I had that conversation for years. Like, does Future really make a claim? Because a lot of this beef really started, guys, by Future wanting to be associated in the big three, right? And then you got the Cole thing jumping off with the, with the big three, like I started the league. Then you got the fuck the big three line, right? But Future doesn't seem to get the same level of critique that these other three get. And this is how I'm able to separate who runs a generation, Mount Rushmore of certain different things, because it's about moving the needle at the end of the day, right? And Future moves the needle, but like he doesn't face the scrutiny, and he's not looked at and judged the way the other three are. And that's where you start to, disparage who's who. Future can be 42 years old. He's older than Drake, still sing and talk about the same things. No one questions that. He can lie about his age. He can be, super misogynistic, womanized, the whole Playboy thing. I think the difference between him and Drake, there is some contrasting differences between Drake trying to play that character and Future playing that character. The thing with Future is like he's an architect. He's an archetype that we know. Like, we know that nigga in the hood. or we know niggas like him. And Future actually, he's not leeching off of an image or an idea. He kind of has leaned into it. I do remember years ago when Nikki was going on some of her rants back, like literally 10 years ago, and she was talking about some of these artists and stuff like that got y'all on perks and doing perks, don't even take them themselves. And then there's the whole big discussion about Future's real drug use and if he really is doing that or if he's portraying a character. Yeah, deadbeat, exactly. He has 9 or 11 kids, right? All these 3 or 4 different baby mamas, including Sierra. So Future, the thing with Future that I think is a little bit different with Drake is that Future embodies that character. That's his archetype. Drake leached off of that archetype. So we give him a pass on that, right? But then he'll do shit like he'll throw these little, he might drop 2 or 3 albums in 1 year. And we don't judge them all the same. Like when Cole drops, it's like everybody stops, everybody examines, everybody critiques it a certain way, right? And then they're measuring it a certain way. Where is this chart position? How's it influencing? But are we going to do that to this Future? That's my question. All right. Are we going to do it to the Future? Is Future going to be able to just slide off again under everybody's radar, drop an album like this, and if it ends up selling 192, we just kind of forget about it and say, oh, we okay. Or is he not a part of this whole Big 3 discussion? Is he not a part of this? Should we not be using him the same fucking metric or the same barometer y'all are using to judge the other 3? Does Future get a pass on that barometer? Does he just not get to be measured by anything? Because, I mean, let's just get to it. The album's not good. The album's not good. Now, I've been wrong about Future before. So I reserve the judgment of potentially being wrong. But this album's just missing a big touch to it. And I know some of Future's, I'll be honest, some of Future's old shit, it had to grow on me. When I first heard it, I'm like, this is whack. Or I don't like it. Or I don't get it. Not I don't get it as in I don't get the content, but like I don't get what he's doing. I don't get what everybody's seeing. So, and I've been wrong. I've been dead fucking wrong. But the thing is, Future just gets a lot of passes. I'll say that. Future gets a lot of passes. And I don't think we should allow this album to be one of them. I think we should, the same way the Big 3 just came off of Iceman was make it or break it time for Drake. GNX was make it or break it for Kendrick. And the Fall Off was make it or break it for Cole, right? That was everybody's expectation. Future just gets to initiate the beef, hop on a record with all 3 of these guys, be in the middle of it, the whole thing, not be asked about it at all. Everybody just let him slide off. Gets to make another record with Drake after snaking him, and then he gets to drop an album and get to fly underneath the radar and nobody got questions for niggas? You know what I mean? I mean, I think the album is lackluster. I mean, I just cut it to you straight. The album's super lackluster. I don't even know if there's one of them records everybody talking about. Alice in the Wonderland or whatever. That's not good. They try to do this record and his rollout. The thing is, this has been a real rollout for Future. It's been a serious rollout. He's done the World Cup thing, right? He's the one that Billboard started popping up last month or 2 months ago, I want to say. The TRU or TRY, the real you, but we didn't know what it was, and everybody was asking about it for like a week, like what artist is this? And it said like the big dog is coming or some bullshit. So that was 2 months ago when this rollout began, and then he did the World Cup. He's released a single. He hopped on. He's been on the Drake thing. So I mean, there's been a rollout, right? And I don't think everybody's putting the same expectations on where this album lands. I mean, chart wise, I even mean impact wise. And how down bad is Atlanta if Future is down? I mean, Gunna's really gonna have to be their saving grace, and that's what's crazy. And y'all know I'm not a Gunna guy at all, but everybody thought that Future was the easy shoe-in to be somebody that's saving Atlanta or still really kind of controlling the pulse of Atlanta. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not able to say he's not. I'm not there. I'm just saying this album got a different feel to it. It don't feel as impactful as We Still Don't Trust You 1 or 2. It don't feel as impactful as Never Liked You. So we'll see. I'll be honest. I think Future and Drake, their last couple 6 albums, or not 6, that's extreme. Last couple albums, this whole Playboy, Bachelorette kind of thing that they're doing, I think they're kind of losing material in that realm, and they need to kind of transition out of that character arc. Drake got an ability to do that with Iceman, stepping into a different character, villain role. Future's still stuck. I mean, besides the beef albums that everybody just ate off of, because that niggas acting like Kendrick just like, supplanted and, catapulted off of the beef and benefited from the beef. And it's like, first off, guys, yes, that was the stakes of the beef. We all understood when the whole fucking hip hop did a hip hop civil war that whoever came out was going to catapult and they was going to succeed their competition and have a boost in their career. I thought that was the well-known fucking thing. Everybody acting like that's some big tape that Kendrick catapulted from the beef. It's like, duh. That was the money in the bank, guys. That was the stakes of what they were doing. I thought we were always on the same page, but apparently not. But besides Future with the We Still Don't Trust You and We Still Don't Trust You Too, his beef beats, his beef albums, he said these are literal unks. They're literal unks. I think he's running out of that material for that niche that he feeds. And the thing is, Future could be so much more, right? He had like Nicki Minaj said 10 years ago, he had the perky, zany, trippy, psychedelic, like euphoric kind of run with Dirty Sprite 2, 56 Nights, the mixtapes run, the whole thing, right? He helped do that. Then it's the Playboy. He's always been the Playboy, but it's more like the older guy that's still doing what he's doing, right? The last few years. I think that niche is kind of getting, I'm not saying it's played out to me, but I'm not even saying the idea is played out. I'm saying the writing by these two artists are played out in it. They have to, like the Certified Lover Boy, all that, Her Loss and all that shit, where it's like really attacking these women and toxic nigga shit. Like, come on. So I think Future's in a tough position. We'll see. Again, I reserve the right to be wrong, but I don't hear nothing. Let me see if I can pull this. Let me see if I can pull the track list up. We'll go through the track list. Future, the real me track list. Thing is, niggas just don't even break down albums like we used to. You know what I mean? Hold on, I'm gonna share my screen. Y'all tell me the heat on here. So we got Fuck Your Interview, which is like just, a little skit, opening thing, not even a minute long, I don't think. 1, 2, No Misery, California Girls, Tank Top Pluto, I heard a little bit of that. Wait Up, Konnichiwa, Trench Coat, Snowing, Skyama, Build a Bitch. People was talking about Build a Bitch. I don't hear it, bro. I thought Build a Bitch was gonna have crazy 808s, like a banging beat, infectious like hook, to where I was going to want to repeat it no matter how hard I tried, but I didn't get that from Build a Bitch at all. Radio, and this is bloated. That's the other thing. 22 songs of this content, because I see what he's doing. Everybody's like, it's kind of loose or it's kind of, lost focus or sloppy. I think it's just bloated in that category. There's only so much to write about that. Like this as a concept or this as an idea is just not going to be fleshed out that great to me. It's pretty played out, and I don't know how much you can write about it in one album, but Radio 2018, Money Over Everything, Off the Hinge, If I Could, Big Moment, Cast a Spell, Kid, Hollywood, Feeling I Give, Alice, which was, I told you guys, I thought Alice was atrocious. I hope that y'all don't try this. And I get it. The thing is, Future did drop that classic on King's Dead with the Stop Booming Up, Check It With Me. It was like, but you could pull that off once and get away with it. Future did some innovative shit like that, like the whistling. He's whistling all through the album. But I told you guys, that whistling shit that he kind of took on, because I know other niggas that was doing that. That's early, early Houston. Early shit like that. But the way, his little whistling kick. Future's did some super innovative shit with sound and his voice and shit. But I thought the whole him trying to run back to the slob on me nah, la-di-da-di-da voice, and it's the whole song. I thought that was a little too much. It was a little too much for me. And then Eye to Eye. So I mean, again, I don't think it's a strong body of work. I thought the other. Here's my final takeaway. The other part of the Mount Rushmore, the other big three, I felt like this first off, I can't even believe we're post that now. You know, I remember it just don't even feel that long ago where we were all anticipating what their next albums was going to sound like post beef, right? GNX came super first, but then we was all anticipating for a whole year what J. Cole's album was going to be, what it was going to be about, was he going to diss, whose side was he, all that shit, right? Now that's coming on. Then Drake, all the Iceman's on his way. He's melting the city, and this whole idea, what's Drake going to say, what he got to say next, right? We're post that, right? We're still kind of in Iceman season a little bit, but we're really coming out of it a lot, especially with I'll tell you what, it's a perfect transition. We're out of Iceman season because, or one of the reasons because we're full blown in the beginning or the middle stages of a Jay-Z rollout. So just guys out there, word to the wise, Jay-Z's coming, right? You know, we've sat on this platform for months, really, talking about when Jay-Z was coming or if he was coming this year. You know, Shane was saying that he didn't know Jay was coming this year, which I thought was fucking bizarre. I mean, I thought it was clear as day that he's been rolling out. This whole idea that he's where's Jay-Z? This whole idea that Hov is just doing all this fireworks and then videos on the train stations and all the movement he's been doing, right? Just so he can commemorate the 30-year anniversary of Reasonable Doubt. I knew that was cap. Oh, please. You know, that's cap. It sounds good, and it goes together too, but that's your rollout, actually. That's your rollout. So, first off, I'm hearing allegedly Diddy's on his way out. Allegedly. But yeah, we're dead smack in the middle of a whole rollout. So it does seem like Iceman is kind of triggering down. Now I'm really curious. I don't know if I said it on this stream last time or not, but you know, we're supposed to be Evil Ways or not Evil Ways, I'm sorry. Scary Hours 4 may be the gauntlet that Drake is supposed to use to lay down for whenever Hov does drop this out. Because I will say Hov is stomping all on Iceman season. It started with the Roots picnic, right? Since that moment, even a little bit before, right? Picking out the hair and all this different shit that he's been doing. But it seems like Jay-Z is coming in to be the showstopper. I gotta be honest. You know, him doing the three nights this weekend at Yankee Stadium. The first 2 nights have been really big deals. Bringing out Nas was a hip hop historic moment. Sorry, we about to nerd out, guys. I'm sorry. This is my little rap portion of the thing. But that was historic, bringing Nas out at Yankee Stadium. Now I got some critiques because the thing is, like, they did Hip Hop 50 2 years ago, and Hov was nowhere to be found, and Nas was running that, and I thought it would have been a good idea for Hov to have been involved in that. But seems like he's kind of getting involved now that it's all about him. But anyways, showstopper, right? Brings out Beyonce, Nas, Blue Ivy, Slick Rick. Eminem yesterday, just you know, everybody except Dame Dash. Everybody except Dame Dash is on that, hitting that fucking stage. And Ochino and all his ops in New York that just can't stand his fucking guts. They seem to be hitting the stage, man. So we'll see. Night 3 is tonight, where we could or could not be getting some new Jay-Z music tonight. All right. The Carters released Gloria, I think yesterday on streaming. Beyonce's song coming out last week on July the 4th. All of this movement, I'm telling y'all now, when Rock Nation start moving, everybody got to shut up. You know, we all know how this goes. I'm going to just be real, guys. They're the overstudies. They are the fucking underworld rulers of our little space in hip hop culture. They whether you think they bought and paid for it, they sacrificed human fucking feces for it. I don't care what you believe. All I know is Rock Nation does control this arm of the space, right? They control hip hop, right? Jay-Z and the lawyers and Rock Nation lawyers, the Rock Nation brunches. They are the entity that controls this whole thing. I will always agree with that. And I know people like to throw TDE and PG Lang and Kendrick in the mix is getting played. Whatever y'all want to say. What I do know is these two niggas on the screen, matter of fact, are gatekeepers for hip hop, right? And so it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. I'm just saying niggas better get in line because I'm hearing Diddy is coming home. Well, he's coming home soon regardless, like next year in February, I believe. But I'm hearing shit today that, he might be on his way to a halfway house in a few days or in a week or so. Trump's talking about pardoning them because Trump is looking embarrassing with these wars. So he's going to use this Diddy get out of jail, literally get out of jail free card to distract us from his abysmal midterms is upon us. So Trump's going to use this, around that time to kind of distract us and getting good favors. It's always about that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that here in a little bit. But these two guys are the gatekeepers. And I'm just saying when Rock Nation that ball starts moving for Rock Nation and they start getting active, and Nicki Minaj, you had your fun a few months ago talking all that shit. Kanye, you had your fun talking all that shit. Drake, you done talk shit. Academics, you done talk shit. Tory Lanez, you done talk shit. All these people talking shit. I'm just saying when the Rock starts moving, it just seems like this is how I know that they're the rumors over the spaces because everybody gets to play victim when they come outside to play. When Jay-Z gives niggas little pow-pows, it's always play victim time, right? So that tells me that Jay-Z's lured up. He's bossed up. He's tied in with the blue bloods and the tiny hats. That's what it tells me. And I fuck with you, Jay, but just saying what it is. Trump getting Diddy out will not help at all. Yeah, it will. It ain't going to help ultimately. It's not going to help ultimately, but it'll help in the hip-hop space. Hip-hop has already forgiven Diddy. It's really ridiculous. It's really ridiculous how fast these stories just get to come by and people get off. Man, it used to be like 7 years. And I don't even mean for the crime you did. I mean, when we got rid of you and was done with you and you was doing something and we had to give you a little timeout, you needed to go away for a while. And I've been saying, like, niggas done forgave everybody except Will Smith. What's going on with that? Will Smith is the only person to be actual canceled. Like, you think about all the people that we thought got canceled, Roseanne and all these different fucking people. Seinfeld and Tarantino and Jada Pinkett Smith and Trey Songz. All these people done made a fucking comeback. Rick Ross do something every week. DJ Khaled looks a fucking mess every other month. Fat Joe says the N-word left and right. All these people get to come back except Will fucking Smith. Where is Will Smith? Hip hop hasn't given him a warm hug and welcomed him back yet. And the thing is, it's going to take a movie. Will, if you're out there, if you're listening, Jaden, we share the same birthday. Happy belated, by the way. But if you're listening out there, dog, tell your dad it's going to take a film. Not with you in it. That's the problem. It can't have Jada Smith in it. It can't have Jada Pinkett in it. It can't have Willow. He needs to go get back in with Hollywood. Will Smith is going to give us... Wait, I'm tripping. Will Smith might be doing a biopic. I'm pretty sure there's a biopic coming, and I can't remember who's it for. Let me see. Is Will Smith doing a biopic? That's the thing. They're going to give Will Smith a biopic. About Queen Latifah. Hold on. Let me read this. Okay, that ain't what I was even thinking about. But yeah, Will Smith just needs a blockbuster movie. That's just what it comes down to. He needs a blockbuster movie and be all right. But again, Hov is outside, man. I think he drops in July. July or August. Might drop whenever Diddy gets out or some shit. I don't know, but I think he drops. I think he has a full body of work. I want to know what y'all think. What is it going to sound like? What are we get? What's the kind of content we're going to get on it? We're just coming up on the anniversary of 444. Is Jay-Z going back to his roots? I mean, the nigga cut his hair. The wigs are off. He looks great. I'll be honest. He looks in good, tremendous shape. I will say there is a funny video out there. He's been tearing the stage up. I'll give him that. Tip my hat, Sean Carter. Rock Nation, if y'all is listening, please don't sue me. But there was a clip that me and Lane shared, I think, and Jay-Z sounded fucking winded. He sounded winded. But we'll see. I mean, they've been putting on for hip hop, man. This 3 days at Yankee Stadium has been a tremendous success, I think. But yeah, I'm more so ready now that I'm clearly in the middle of the rollout, and I'm pretty sure we're in the middle of the rollout. I'm like, okay, what are we getting, man? And are we on a just unavoidable collision between him and Drake? You know, is it just predestined that Drake finally meets the boss at the top and they have their little pow pow? And I just want to know what the album's going to sound like. Like, what direction are we getting in? That's what I'm really interested in. And can Hove still Iceman shine this year? What is it going to be if Hove comes in August, guys, drops a crazy album, and the whole conversation in hip hop is around Jay-Z? I think that's what he's doing, man. I think I don't think it's coincidence that the commencement of the 30-year celebration of Reasonable Doubt, and then the Yankee State, the whole little rollout right now has been right on top of Iceman. So it's just something that we gotta keep our eye on, man. Something we gotta keep our eye on. Switching gears. Let me see. I'm switching gears. What's this? Riding with my motherfucking street. Where's it at? Looking for the pictures with some masks. All right. What y'all want to talk about?
We got enough fireworks to go against.
Oh shit. Hold on. Sorry guys, I'm a little rusty today. I ain't gonna lie.
You see
I done got high.
what's going on, nigga? We out.
Bro, why does it keep All right, I'm cool.
Nah, nigga. You gotta be fucking kidding me. This shit is a fucking movie. You got a fucking bazooka. Iceman versus Iran. We got enough fireworks to go against Iran right now. Yo, Brunson, we fucking love you, nigga. Shout out fucking Mandavi. Fuck the sports. We celebrating the white people stealing shit. You got Jesus in real life. Nigga, what the fuck is a kilometer? Boom, boom, boom.
Yo, why these niggas on deck with shit?
Firework in my fucking drink. And we're drinking this shit. Fuck England, nigga. This the U.S. 250. Uptown Dykeman. It's no hood that do it like this one. When y'all done, I guarantee you we still lighting this bitch up. All night with the big booms. Watch us.
New Yorkers are fucking delusional, bro. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them celebrating America's 250. Shit, we got time. Let's talk about it. So obviously, like I said, I haven't been on for a while. It's been a grip since I've been on, and we done had a little birthday. We done had a couple birthdays since the last time I've been on. The nigga turned 30. Nigga just turned 30. And America just turned 250. So what's that all mean, man? Well, I learned some crazy things during the 250th birthday of the country. I learned some crazy things. I seen niggas being confused and starting to do math and say, well, if America's only 250 and we've been enslaved for 400 years, they've been saying that it doesn't make sense or they don't know, somebody's lying. I'm like, scratching my head like, this is what I mean. We really gotta get off this internet sometimes, guys, and open a book. Or we need some help. I ain't gonna lie, because niggas not knowing your history is a little bit alarming. But outside of that, it's like, bro, the internet is right there. You know, instead of just tweeting the thing with social media and all that shit, I'm a victim of it till I do it. I still do it to this day. You know what I'm saying? But like, they're all fleeting thoughts and you archive them in time. So that's kind of the idea of social media. And really, when you zoom the camera out on what we're actually doing on social media, it's obviously a communication platform. It's a social platform, right? But and it does other shit, you know, it has other deep rooted side effects, right? But one of the things that if I think an alien species came to look down and kind of judge what social media was all about and stuff like that, I think the big takeaway would be that social media is literally just fleeting thoughts that get archived in time. They're like X'd in time because they'll always be there, at least backed by a cloud or something like that. And so, like, when you one of my favorite things to do, I think X should, Elon Musk, dog, implement this feature. One of the things X should do, because that's the place where your most fleeting thoughts goes, right? Twitter or X, that's the place where you just literally, the idea of a tweet is to just say the most random thing, like say exactly what's on your mind right now. Even Facebook, you space out your statuses. It has to be somewhat of importance, or you got to frame it as importance. Since memes came along and sped shit up. You share it more, you laugh at it. It's more interactive, right? That's the importance of memes. But as far as a Facebook status or you saying something, it's like, you space it out a lot. He said all these data centers and people can't even look some. Man, AI is there doing the work for y'all, funded and backed by these data centers. AI will do it. AI, man, I be using the AI prompts. Y'all know I'm fake anti-AI and all that shit, but I'm using the AI prompts because I like the way it prompts. I like the LLMs and like the way they phrase stuff and how the kind of questions and the follow-up questions, right? But we got all that shit. Niggas don't even want to use it. They make it real simple for you. You could literally just type into your long language model, anyone, Claude, whatever you want to use, right? You could have just said, how is America only 250 years old, but slavery is 400 years? You could have just typed that out, right? And then when you click the little arrow button, it would have gave many dissertations to explain to your silly, goofy ass that colonization and the transatlantic slave trade, guys, the transatlantic slave trade means three typically, right? So it means 3 different routes over the Atlantic to go to different continents in different countries, right? So the fact that people don't know that, this was like the Englishmen and Britain and Nero and Portuguese and Spain and all these different European nations, like people think that America started slavery. And it's like, that's some of the most silliest shit. I understand why people would think that, because we're in America and we made it such a big deal, at least the last, in the schooling system, I would say the last 10 to 15 years has kind of been revisited. Maybe I remember when I was in school, we was in the fatigue era of teaching about Black history. And every time February came around, our teachers did piss poor job. Now I'm in Ohio. I'm in a Midwest state, right? So I understand you got your HCBUs or your southern states like Georgia, Mississippi, the Carolinas, some of those places, Virginia, even a place like Virginia, they'll teach on the history of slavery a lot more different than Ohio would, right? Because one of the things in Ohio is, our role in the, manifest destiny and the treaties with the natives and stuff like that. So Ohio got a lot of blood on their hands. So I understand that some of our education maybe, or I don't think it's the education always. A lot of times it's the education funded and written by Lex Westner. But a lot of times outside of it being the actual education, it'd be the syllabus that the teachers are given, right? It'd be the things that they're allowed to teach on and that they're not allowed to teach on. That'd be the thing, right? So it's the whole board of education. It's that whole kind of system, right? And I remember growing up, now in the early 2000s, I remember everybody had to do the Martin and Malcolm report, right? In like 4th grade type shit. I remember the movies that they would play, Malcolm and Me or Martin and Me or whatever. Just all those different things. And I remember some of the lessons and the part of history of talking about slavery and how it kind of worked. And it's really, 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 really watered down in the education system. It's really, 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 I don't want to mean whitewashed in the sense as like literal white people, but I mean as far as like delusion. It's like really diluted. The story's really diluted. And they really graze over it. I mean, they really talk about kind of a lot of our history that we learned on early was a lot of the migration, right? The Pilgrims, right? We learned about the Mayflower. And even niggas, we all learned the story about the Mayflower and all that shit, but they don't really teach on 300, 200 years prior to that or 90 years prior to that. They don't teach about 1555 or 1619 you know, and how colonization spread, slavery spread across the European nations, right? France, Portugal, Britain, Spain, all through Europe, right? And then all down into the Americas. So again, people not knowing that America's 250, but we've been over here for 429, 430, whatever you want to say, you know, 450 years, right? And not understanding how Brazil is populated with all the black people Brazil has the most black people in the world, right? Rio, South America, the mestizos, all of the different, you know, native people down in South America, Latin America, Mexico. Like, y'all don't understand how there's niggas there. So that was really eye-opening. But the other thing is there is a rise in, I'll be honest, there's a major rise in Marxism in this country, right? Where now I think we're at the era. I think, you know, Black Lives Matter era kind of ushered back in some of the whole, okay, let's bring this back up in history and talk about slavery. So they had to teach about it in the schools. And then now you got the banning of the books in Florida and all this different shit, because there is a lot of quote unquote black fatigue out there, right? Where they're tired of us complaining. They don't want to hear it. They can't stand the word reparations, right? They struck down the reparations bill in 2024, I think, in California. I think they're trying to strike down one again. I think Georgia or Alabama, somebody's coming up with a bill for reparations. And, you know, so that conversation of our 40 acres and a mule that we like to bring up every, you know, 50 years or whatever, America's be tired of it. And so I think Black Lives Matter kind of brought that back up to the surface. We had that conversation again. And then now we're in the stage of neo-Nazism, really migration crisis, war spreading out, and they're tired of the reparations talk. They're tired of the slavery talk. America, they told us in the 2024 election, in that year, in the rise of like your neo-Nazis, your Chud the Builders, your Nick Fuentes, Charlie Kirks, and I'm saying from the level of extreme to not extreme to center. But the point is, they said that there's no more white guilt, right? Make America great again, America first. That whole ideology, when you guys see that phonics, that phrase, you guys need to understand that that's a time, they're talking about a time where we had no dictation on the happenings of America, right? We were literal slaves. So they want a world where we're not influencing the state of the culture, the being of the actual country of America, right? The social political, what Jaden said, the social political, economical state of the world. But no, seriously, that's what those phrases, when you see those phrases as me, that's kind of what they would mean. And now I'm not here to kind of go into that and that belief system, but what I'm here to say is, they're trying to get to a post-racial America, and they're tired of that question for us. So the whole idea of reparations, or us bringing this back up and talking about our history in the Americas, I mean, hell, they don't even teach on, you know, some of the ways. I mean, just all of, you know, here we are celebrating 250 years in America, right? And some of the stories, unless you go watch PBS or something like that, of like the Buffalo Soldiers, the Rough Riders, and the different regions, and all black, the Tuskegee Airmen. So the roles that some of these African slaves, or, you know, black American slaves, played in the Revolutionary War, right? You know, with the Revolutionary War, there was, you know, slaves that wanted to fight on the side of Britain and the side of the America, right? And guys, I mean, the list goes on, and these are slaves, right? Now, they were promised, we've always been, you know, tugged along and promised a little fucking cheese at the end of the string, right? And we never end up getting it. That's been our fight with this country. So by the way, guys, my white American friends listening out there, guys, when black people are giving America a hard time, y'all just get the fuck out the way sometimes and let us get what we're owed from our government. Y'all trying to, oh, we don't want to pay the taxes on the reparations, or it's too long ago, we don't want to pay. Y'all pay everybody else. They fork out billions and billions and billions of dollars left and fucking right all the time. 24 more, they want, Congress wants another, or Trump and them want another 24 billion more passed through Congress for this war shit. Like, they've already spent 200 billion and throwing money to all these different things, but billions ain't shit. Billions and trillions ain't shit clearly to this government. So everybody complaining or trying to get in the way of our reparations when y'all done pay back Germany, pay back Japan, y'all suck China's dick if y'all got to, all types of shit, bro. It's not unbeknownst to a country to pay people reparations, man. Happens all the fucking time. And y'all using this whole idea that it was so long ago. It's like, well, yeah, because y'all kept stringing us along. What do you fucking mean that we shouldn't get reparations because it's been so long ago, no one's ever owns? Dog, y'all strung us along. We've been fighting for it the whole fucking time. What do you mean? What do you mean? Y'all just so happen to be able to be at 160 years, 160 years or whatever, 180 years, whatever it is, 200 years, in the fight of not paying us the reparations that y'all owe us. That's all. And that's what I'm saying. Niggas, we got to get together. And y'all got to read y'all's history and understand some of this shit because, Uncle Sam checkbook right there. Y'all talking about getting go-yard bags and scamming and spending that shit. Nigga, they owe us fuck tons of money. Fuck tons of money. But yeah, Revolutionary War, Spanish-American War, Mexican and American War, all the wars, World War I, Hitler gets, World War I, Germany, then World War II, Hitler gets started. And we there every step of the way. The Vietnam War, we there. We've been there every step of the way. Dumbass niggas flying fucking planes, being in the Navy, all types of shit. But they always get the little promise. Like I said, they always give us a little cheese at the end of the stream. So we've always been roped along and promised these things. So again, my white folks out there listening, y'all just get the fuck out the way, bro. Get the fuck out the way or get behind us when we trying to get reparation, man. These folks need to pay us. Y'all stop being so damn jealous and hateful that y'all think we don't deserve it. That's pure fucking hate. So that's what I got for America 250. But yeah, that was, like I said at the top, that blew my mind this past week when I was seeing people say that they was trying to do the math and trying to figure it out. I'm like, y'all don't kind of understand that, like, we kind of helped make America, like we were slaves in England, and like we spread, like we came to the Virginias and all that shit, but we was already in Europe. Like, y'all don't understand that. We was already in Brazil, we was already in South America and shit like that. But a lot of niggas don't know. I mean, shit, some people's history knowledge just stops at 15, or 1619 or 14, even in 1492, right? And I think a lot of people's timelines be fucked up with Amerigo Vespucci and Christopher Columbus, the 1492 Spanish exploration to find, the West Native Indians, and the trip over into, the Western Hemisphere by Christopher Columbus. I think a lot of people just think that means America was formed and found. No, they found this continent, found the continent in 1492, right? And that's when they started, exporting slaves and stuff to different regions of this whole Western Hemisphere, right? America is a product of that after, right? We don't, but, George Washington, the founding fathers and shit, they fight for their independence from Britain, right? And they come over here to get their own land, and they end up importing and getting slaves to come over here with them, right? And we literally built the nation. So, like, this nation hasn't existed. Me and Lane had this conversation on here, right? We said, do we know America as a project or an idea? Do we know it works, right? Do we even know if it works? Because America has not had any history before without slave labor, right? And I know, like, I'm not one of them people that just tell you, oh my God, I'm not just accusing America of using slaves, right? Ancient civilizations have done it. They were called slaves, but they were laborers, whatever you want to call it. But slavery and chattel slavery is not new. It's not that new, right? It's new within the last, millennium. But I think like, places like, trying to think, it's hard to say. I will say that niggas build the Western Hemisphere. Yes. Yes. And the slave labor of niggas kind of, did that. But America in and of itself as an idea, as a project, has never known to really be a successful thing without, just all types of, I don't know if this project works, right? We're $39 trillion, 37, 38 trillion dollars in debt, right? The deficit keeps rising and rising and rising. We can't get it down. I can't even remember the last president to cut the deficit. I think it was in the 2000s or the 90s. If that, maybe longer ago. So it just doesn't seem like the course we're on. And Lane talked about this on last stream, socialism and democratic socialism, and you got Mendamni and kind of his idea in America, white America's fear for him and what he kind of represents, because we just totally freak the fuck out and get so paranoid over an idea of a socialist country, right? Because socialism hasn't worked anywhere. You show me one example of socialism working. And it's like, no, you're right. It hasn't worked with meddling European powers in hands, France and shit, America. But we see forms of socialism all the fucking time in the welfare system, in the emergency response system, a lot of wildlife, just a lot of different agency systems, right? Matter of fact, the whole agencies, all the alphabet agencies, welfare, WIC, all these different programs and stuff like that stems out of socialism, right? Some of it's tax funded, so I understand the difference, but I'm just saying the idea of welfare for the people and being able to have funds for everybody. Now I will say other nations have fallen faster, but again, we don't really know, because we're lied to so much, how well some of these different things could work. America's job and the European powers' jobs is to not let another great power rise in this world. I think people kind of get this whole thing misconstrued at what we're doing, because it's East versus West, it's hip hop versus rock, it's white versus black, but then people forget to expound it, right? It's America, because people talk about like, we should never choose sides, or I don't see color, and I'm like, boo, get the fuck out of here. You niggas see teams and choose and pick and choose right from wrong, what side of whatever you want to be on all the time. It's only when niggas is on the losing side, they're like, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't see it this way, we need to come together. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. We ain't been together in nothing, right? So anyways, when you expound on the idea, right, it's America versus this country, then it's America, it's US versus this country. Then it will be America versus this continent. Then it'll be the Europe versus this continent. Then it will be the Western, literal East versus West, right? Hemispheres. So people don't understand how much meddling goes on over here, right? Into world affairs. NATO, just different, the G7, just different shit that goes on over in this whole fucking thing we got going on, this conglomerate, to meddle in other people's form of government. Now, I'll put it this way. Some of the greatest reigns that we have documented on paper come from kingdoms, right? You got kings that lineage, royal families that ran, and again, that happened in Europe, right? You think of the King of England and the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth, and all these different people. It's not that long ago. Just people forget the time, like in the 1700s, the 1800s, and stuff like that. There was kings and queens ruling shit for a long period of time, and then that family lineage, right? Royal families. So I think that we forget we are 250 years old sometimes, right? We forget that. Now, I will say democracy, constitutes me being able to sit up on the stream and talk the way I do, right? And I always tell people this: can you genuinely imagine a world where you just so happen that your mom and your dad decided to, make a little love, and you just so happen to be dropped off in 1813, right? And you're under the rule of, King Charles, right? You're under the rule of King Charles, but then you like at least with democracy, we know we're gonna get 4 years of Trump. We're gonna get 4 years of Obama. We're gonna get 4 years of Biden. We're gonna get 4 years of Kamala. We're gonna get 4 years of Bush. We're gonna get 4 years of Clinton. Yada yada yada. List goes on and on, right? But we can act like we're shaking it up and changing and fighting and getting a vote for the people. And no, we get this president and no kind of change. Oh, boo, nigga. We live under a whole system, right? And that system that we exist in is kind of just like a kingship, right? But my point was, imagine being born in 1813. You're under King Charles, but then King Charles has a fucking son. Like, you're gonna be under the Charles family and this royal family for centuries. Like, so, nigga, what they say goes. Ain't nothing changing. Ain't nothing changing in England, nigga, in the next 3 centuries until this nigga is overthrown. Nothing's changing. Could you really imagine that? So I understand, I understand the fight, the Revolutionary War, and I understand the idea of freedom, and what God constitutes as unalienable rights, right? I understand the Americans' passion for getting their independence from Britain. I understand, right? I'm just saying, we since it's 250 years, I think we Americans are so spoiled. We're so caught up in everything. We're so caught up just in the last 10 years, especially in the social media era, where we can't even remember shit that was going on in history. Like, we can't. The problem I think right now that Americans are going to have and the world is going to have with social media is that we're not going to be able to decipher actual historic things that are going on versus things that we're seeing on social media every day, because we're just feeding that algorithm's just feeding us nonstop, just slop all the time, that we can't differentiate what is actually important in the news and what's kind of just like pig food, right? We just eat all the pig food, just nonstop, eat every day, consume. And I think we're not going to understand the difference between written history, like the important standout things like COVID happening, 9/11 happening, Iran war, Palestine, Gaza, the Ukraine, Russia, the human crisis going on, just the different historic things. The Pope died, just those things that are going to be written in history, right? When you read a history book and it's going to say 2010 through 2020, and then it's going to have a little dissertation on what happened during that decade. We have a hard time kind of deciphering that because we exist in the social media age where, again, we just consume so much. And I think America, in the long shot, gets so forgetful that we're only 250 years old, guys. That is not that old. So I hope this America's 250 birthday kind of helped kind of sober up people, because that's kind of like a celebrationary mark, 250, right? Nobody wanted to have this conversation at 249 or 248, but 250, I get it, right? Celebrate time. So there was a conversation being had in the country, and I think that number sobered a lot of people up. Like, they thought about it, like, damn, 250. And like I said, I obviously seen people trying to do the math in their head, like 250, 400 years, and trying to think about this whole thing that we exist in. And I'm like, that's a good thing that people are kind of looking at it like one big piece of the pie, right? Because a lot of people just they just live their life and they don't understand that there's this bigger thing going on outside of ourselves. That's called history being done right before our eyes, right? That's called the global history, like what's going on with the whole entire story that we're on, this world historic journey that we're on. I mean, you can zoom that out too, right? When you start talking about us, spinning on this planet that we're spinning and different discoveries out there, right? That scope always can zoom out. But I think America 250 was a good little benchmark for everybody to kind of stop and think, like, damn, we're really not that old. France been around longer than us. Britain been around longer than us. Spain been around longer than us. I mean, these places got ancient history. They predate us. And then, I mean, we don't even got to get into, Eastern nations. We don't even got to get into that. I told you guys one of the most player things that China told us a few years ago. It's like, dog, the Chinese dynasty and the Chinese empire has been around for millenniums, not centuries, thousands and thousands of years we've been around. This little baby, I've been telling you guys, this little 250-year-old new baby nigga on the block that thinks he's the big bad bully. You're not the big bad bully. And that's another thing that Americans had to learn, I guess, for our 250th year birthday. I think one of the things that we had to learn is that we're not as powerful as we thought we were, man. That leads me into the next topic with the Iran and Israel situation going on, right? They've outclassed us on the world stage. That MOU that has been completely null and void, right? And that war is essentially back on. But the whole MOU, the whole agreement that we came up with 3 weeks or a month ago to this day, I think, it just shows you that we kind of lost control of the global market, man, with the whole Strait of Hormuz, the center point of energy, and going on right now, and them gaining control of that has been. I told you guys a few years ago, if you remember, it was a crazy, interesting kind of revelation I had about kind of the scope of what we were dealing with at the time. It was like, remember I was saying like 2024, 2025 was like the year of the hostage, right? It was like everything was centered around hostages. It was like, remember, Hamas had, Hamas had a whole bunch of hostages. Israel had a whole bunch of Palestinian hostages. Hamas had a whole bunch of Jewish hostages, right? And then that was brokered and that happened. That got solved, and the fake ceasefire between Gaza and Israel came along, right? But that was going on, and then at the same time we had the blackmail going on over the country with the Epstein situation, right? And I was saying it seemed like we were, you can go get the book out there, One Nation Under Blackmail, but it seemed like, and everybody kind of alluded to the fact that we were being blackmailed. So that's another form of being held hostage. That's another word for being held hostage. All right, so we had all these different hostage situations going on. But I think this year is really more so about, it's about a whole bunch of different things, but we've been humbled. We've been humbled, I think, a lot this year. And I think we had this big bad notion, especially of our generation. I would talk to some of my homies and stuff like that for decades now, and we would have the conversation on if America could be defeated or be beat. And no, her military might is really, really strong. I don't think nobody strikes our nation. I don't think none of that kind of shit happens, but we've been out chessboard, and I think, I almost think we're really close to a checkmate. I told you guys the real grand scope of this. To me, I think China's sitting back laughing. Even Russia takes a little laugh at us, but I think China really gets to sit back and laugh at us because we really haven't had, in our 250 years, we haven't had much. We've had like Cold War with China a lot, little things like that, but we haven't had direct beef with them. Now, the Chinese, the CCP, they haven't beefed with anybody, right? So they could be all guns and smoke too. They can be, who knows? But I just think in the grand scheme of things, again, them laughing at us and saying, dog, we've been around for thousands and thousands of years. Y'all are 250 years old. The flex to me as a nation existing that long, right? And we have a long ways to go, man. We are 250 years in now. As it's written, these great nations that we exist in, like we're just a nation, right? The United States, right? But these great nations having runs like that, we're right on, that's the other thing, right? We're right on that hash mark of the Romes and the great empires that have fallen before, right? The great dynasties, they don't last. The dynasties last, like I said, a couple hundred years. Royal families and stuff like that, it's usually a few hundred years, a couple centuries. But usually by then, a cataclysmic event happens, they're wiped out, they're overthrown, the system falls, it completely crushes like Rome. They overexpand and are doing too much in too many military operations, spending too much money, spread way too thin, get invaded, or they collapse from within, right? The core tenets and elements of that nation or that country just kind of rots over time, due to the mistreatment of the government versus the people. That's how it always ends up being, right? And then then you get into the middle of that country or the middle of that nation, and it's pure sour. It's not, it's filth and abomination on the inside, golden and chalice on the outside, right? So from the outside looking in, America looks real strong and mighty. She looks prestigious. She's still the flock of the world. She's still where everybody wants to fly, where everybody wants to go. But, when you get inside her, it's like, man, a lot of it is rotten. A lot of this apple that we exist in for America, she's just rotten. She's rotten to the core. And I think in that sense, we've been checkmated. You could say through intelligence agencies, whether that be China's, Russia's, Marxism, communism, whatever you want to say, right? But I think, like I said at the top with the whole education thing, I think that has ruined us to our core. A lot of people have no clue of American history, let alone any history that precedes just 250 years of America. I mean, a lot of the general public, they just have no idea of it, which is kind of sad. And I think one of the main things you can learn, and you should never stop learning. I think every year, every day, every week, you should still be learning history. You should be learning history because you just have no idea. We are all products of remixes of ancestors and people that came before us and made decisions before us, right? It's just all passed down, and people kind of just like pass that on, like, yeah, it's a tale as old as time, and it just is what it is. But yeah, it is what it is, and we need to understand and recognize the power and influence of that thing that is so concrete in our life. The one concrete thing in our life is that we do know people have come before us. We don't know if there's aliens. We don't know about the spaceships. We don't know about the mother wheel. We don't know about life on Mars. We don't know yet, right? We're finding out. We don't know. But what we do know is we had a father. Our father had a father. His father had a father, right? And it's really important for us to go back and know the kind of the history of these things to find out why, how. You think people just say, you get dealt a bad hand and all that shit, which is cool, which is right. Some people do. Some people get dealt a raw hand. But there's always a snowball happening before that led to that point, right? Was this person born in a royal family? What's his lineage? Like, that shit really is important. And now, granted, should you get all, I'm not saying obsessed, but should you get all, up or down by, and because history can be depressing, but I think we need to realize that there's good and bad in each one of our livelihoods, right? So each generation, each people, each social society has dealt with good and bad. They made the wrong decisions on this path, the right decisions on this path. Our ancestors led us down the right path and led us down the wrong path. All sides, black, white, short, fat, orange, green, yellow, small, monkey, ape, shark, everything, right? That's all a part of the evolution. And that's all a part of, I think, our lively experience on this earth. I think that is our purpose on this earth, right? But I think not too many people go back and do history and kind of see why things landed the way they were. When I find something new or find about something that happened in the 90s or a company, and my number one thing when I see a new word or anything like that is to look at the ontography of it, like just the meaning of it. Where did it stem from? Is it Greek? Is it Latin? And what was its translation and why? And I'm genuinely interested in all those things, right? Because it matters. Because it matters to the story arc. He said, "Do you believe history repeats itself?" I definitely do. I definitely believe history repeats itself in a big way. I think history repeats itself in ways to where we don't know our history. And that's one of the important sayings, right? With the never forget, never again, all of those slogans. In fact, that's the reason why history has been documented in history. The reason why people have always one of the major themes across all different civilizations has been their use or their concern with documenting their history, right? And you would wonder why that would be. And it's because our ancestors have known, or the gods have shown us or told us that if you don't write this history, or if you don't have an oral tradition of stuff being passed down and stuff like that, and you let history go, that next generation make the mistake. The history repeats itself, but quicker. You know what I'm saying? Our job as the next generation is to know that history and to see, oh shit, okay, this happened then. Our folks was faced with the same problem then, or not the same problem. Different rulers, different countries, different people, different beef, but the same standoff our people have faced with this. What decision did they make? Why did they make that decision? What outcome did it lead to? What outcome didn't it lead to? Why? Were they satisfied? Where do we land from it? What was the repercussions? What was the death toll? Like what was those things are important, right? Those things are important because it will then influence your decision in the future. So in order for you, I tell people all the time, I try to predict movies. If I go to watch a movie, I'm good at prediction. If I'm seeing what's going on in the country or at societal problems, my favorite thing to do with some of my buddies is to ask, what do you think happens? Or like, how's this going to be looked at in history? Like I lens that scope. And my judgment on those things usually stem from me using history to further predict the future. So I'm always heavily into predicting. I said weeks ago that I thought Connor was going to break his leg again. I'm like, I think he's gonna get hurt. Don't ask me why, right? And when I make a serious prediction like that, and it wasn't a serious prediction. I ain't putting money on it. I didn't go to Poly Market. And put money on Connor breaking his leg. Nah. But a lot of it stems from, history, right? That's how data analytic marketings or prediction markets work, right? They do two sums of historic references, do some current formulas, and they put some current formulas into that, and then they get their predictive outcome, right? And I think we don't do enough of that. So yes, I definitely believe history repeats itself. And I definitely believe the quote. I don't know if it's Winston Churchill or whoever it is, one of the Greek philosophers. We're doomed to repeat the history if we don't know the history. So it's really, really important for us to know our history. Black Americans know your history. Americans, general, holding hands, all the immigrants. I think another moment in right now that we're going through, and in the last couple of years, is the Haitian crisis, right? With the Haitians, you got the TPS thing ending here in 2 weeks. I think they got extended for workforce, right, for another 2 weeks. But you got a lot of Haitians fleeing back to Haiti, them trying to get this going. Trying to get a new ruling from the Supreme Court, all these different things. But we'll see how this goes. But I think a lot of people learning kind of some of the history of Haiti was really interesting, right? Because again, I'm not saying that I've always known a lot of this, because I haven't. But I'm making a point to read up on history all the time. I did grow up learning a lot of history. That's the thing. My dad has always said, son, you got to know your history. And he was talking about us as a people and stuff like that. But I've always been history has always interested me. Dynasties. I remember doing a project in 6th grade in a school that I didn't do real well in. I like to joke around and jack off and stuff with friends and not get good grades and different shit like that, especially when I was in middle school. But one of the projects I do remember doing was in 6th grade for Miss Root. Not Miss Root. What was her name? She worked at Clark Middle School. She was the history teacher. What Miss Root? Root. But I did a history project on the empires, the Mongolian empires and stuff like that. And it's really, really interesting, man, to see them dynasties. And I was really reading up on it and seeing how long the dynasty would last and the different rulerships and kind of the stories of the people. I'm just really curious on how another thing I really want to do, because I don't have kids. I guess I could ask my nieces and nephews, but I'm really curious at getting my hands on like a 2010 history book, like a history book that they're reading in school today. I'm really curious. I always ask Hunter and everybody, I'm like, what do y'all think the new history books lead up to? Like, what's the cutoff period? Is it 2020? Like, does it go from 1700s? Like, what is the new curriculum that they're learning in general social studies in K through 5th, right? Which I think are really, really formative years. Again, like I said, I don't remember them teaching us much on the transatlantic slave trade when I was in the 2000s. Not to where I went to school at. You had to have private education. They glazed over it during Black History Month, but during the regular curriculum, I remember learning about them damn Pilgrims. I remember learning about John Adams. I remember learning about the natives, Thanksgiving, the Mayflower, all of that shit. I remember learning about that shit, the songs that we would sing, but I don't remember us singing no African hymn. I don't remember us singing no nigga hymns. We Shall Overcome, Born by the Red. I don't remember none of that. So I'm curious on what kind of fucking history are they teaching now? Is it from 1800s up to the 2000s? Like, do they teach about the Iraq War? Like, what is it? Where does it end? I'm really, really curious. So, Lane, I know you're out. You need to get AJ's history book. I'm curious, or somebody out there tell me if y'all do know what are the kids learning about in history? Like, what is? You don't got to tell me specifics. You could. I'll be really interested. You can hit my inbox or comments. But I'm more curious on the timelines that they're learning. Are they learning about, are they still teaching about Columbus exploration, the Silk Road, and the trade that was going on between the dark and through the Dark Ages? Are we really learning about that, or did they bump it up to the 1800s or something, and we're just learning about the founding fathers, or did they bump it up to the 1900s? Shit. The Federal Reserve, the corporatization of America, right? What are we learning about in these schools, K through 5? America 250. Again, folks, get out of the way when we try and fight for reparations or get behind us. This ain't got nothing to do with y'all. This government, I'll smack you in the face if you say you ain't trying to spend your tax dollars on that beat. This government throws money around. They're throwing salami around while we outside in the door singing "We Shall Overcome," asking for pieces of salami. These niggas we asking for anything. We asking for slops. And they just throwing salami around, throwing cheese around, throwing everything, throwing all the food around in front of our face, just throwing it around. And then telling us they don't got it. Yeah, y'all do. You could do a few things. You could do, we could do some tax, not deductions, but tax exemptions for African Americans. We could do Social Security benefits higher or something better, paid out to us on time right now, lower age. We can negotiate. We can talk about this. Or you can go tell Congress, print off another $25 billion. It's going to be way more, right? It's 50 billion of us, $25 billion. Each of us get 100,000. I don't know. What's the math on 50 billion divided by 30 million, right? Or I said 24 billion, whatever it is, 50 billion, whatever it is, whatever the number is, bruh. At least 40 billion. All it is 40 acres and a mule. So, get out the way when it comes to that. The other thing is people understand. 250 is not that long. It's a great achievement for this nation. But we should have a long ways to go unless these folks continue to. We don't got long. This nation don't got much longer. I mean, we literally on our left knee right now. We're on one knee. We are dazed and confused right now as a nation on which way to turn, which way should we go. The country is so divided. People always say it's the most divided it's ever been. I hate when people say it's like, no, that's literally not the case. The Civil War probably was. But it's pretty, as far as since post segregation or integration, whatever you want to call it, it's pretty divided. It's pretty divided right now. I'll say that. The country is pretty divided. And it's not just race. It's not race related at all. I mean, I'm not saying it's not race related at all. A lot of that stems from it, but I mean, there's a lot of other different fractures, right? I think one of the main things is like, them cutting out the middle class, and then the poor versus the rich. We're really getting to the crux of that, and soon it's just gonna be like, like it was. Like, I mean, it's gonna be Hunger Games. Very soon, if we continue to allow these governments to run the debt up that we're running it into. I got a notification. Hold on. I'm thirsty, but I mean, we're $39 trillion in debt. That's no sign of recovery, guys. We're going to default on all of our loans. I mean, the interest alone if China or any of these nations that we have deficits to, ask us to pay our money back in full, we would not be able to do it. We would go to war against them alone. That's all China got to do is like, shut the fuck up and pay us our money. Hello. Pay us our money in full balance. And America have to go to war because we don't got it. We don't got it. You got the petroleum reserves depleted. I think at 319 million barrels. Half of it's height in stock, right? I mean, it's operating at half mast right now. You got again, oil, Brent crude oil getting ready to go back up again. Trump trying to maneuver his way out of this Iran war. I mean, he looks a mess on the world stage. I can't lie, bro. I can't lie. I mean, Zach, I know you're here, but I mean, he's getting outclassed. And now this whole, they're trying to do this whole thing again with Iran now. Iran has tried to assassinate Trump. And first off, we seen the report from Eretz Israel like 2 weeks ago or a week ago that they gave us intelligence that Iran's they're trying to drag us into war again. I mean, duh. And right on cue, Trump is back to bombing these motherfuckers, right? It's just, I mean, that story couldn't get more Disney and more predictable. Okay, it couldn't. I can turn my eyes off the story because I'm so bored with it. Give me Jeffrey or Virginia, the bitch that went missing, the old bitch. Now we get Mitch McConnell, and Mitch McConnell goes missing for a week and is fake dead. They about to have him rise on Easter or some shit, right? Like John the Baptist or Jesus. And then you got fucking Lindsey Graham Cracker that just passed away today, right? And I bet there's going to be a whole investigation launched on the Lindsey Graham thing. I mean, they're reporting an illness. Sounds like poison to me. I don't know somebody that. I mean, I've heard cardiac arrest, and he was 71, and people act like that's just unheard of. And he looked like he maybe had a heart transplant or two. I don't know, allegedly. So, King Charles, I said Charles Andrews. I seen him back in the news. I have to read up on what's going on there, but I mean, Trump's not looking good on the world stage. I'll say that. So that's what I got for America 250. Let me see. Real quick, before I get off here, let's talk about Zach said, I was fine with Iran in the beginning, but now I don't know what's going on. Iran threatened to kill Lindsey Graham, and now Lindsey Graham is dead from a heart attack. Mitch put out a statement today. Zach said he don't know what's going on. I'll say this. Iran didn't kill Lindsey Graham. Mitch put out a photo today, too. He's dead. They're doing this whole, is he alive, is he dead thing. Even if he ain't dead, he's dead, okay? Mitch McConnell been dead for a few years. He's dead. He's done. Get somebody in the seat. He's done, okay? Lindsey Graham, like I said, they're going to launch an investigation. They're going to do this whole thing. If they're running this whole Iran propaganda that Iran killed him, no, they'll just stop it. We are not going back to war for Israel. We get it. We get y'all. Y'all are working with the Christian Zionist movement. Y'all try to pay off Stephen Curry and Chris Pratt and all these other celebrities for y'all bought TikTok. Larry Ellison bought TikTok and NBC and CBN, Barry Weiss, and y'all literally told us in 2025 y'all was going to do a big rush in 2026. Y'all spent $7 million. Y'all was paying $7,000 for influencers to. He said a clone of Mitch, perhaps. Y'all was paying $7,000 per post for influencers to give good propaganda or narrative for Israel. Like I said, we are back to war. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying the American people, we're not falling for the. We see the cat and mouse game that they're trying to do. Trump's job is to convince the American public to go to war, but Trump also is trying to get through a midterm elections, and we're not going for that. We're saying no. Everybody unanimously is saying no to the war. Everybody's saying no to the war. So Trump tried to get out of the war. He got tangled up. It was hard as hell to get out. He got out through the MOU, and then Israel started meddling again. They went on went on the press, said, fuck USA, we'll do it ourselves. We want to separate from the USA. We want to handle shit ourselves anyway if they don't want to come along with us. Then they put out narratives and rumors out there that Trump almost got assassinated in Turkey during negotiations. Now they killed Lindsey Graham. Cut it out, dog. We know y'all trying to drag us back into war. You war hawks, y'all, that's y'all's job. That's what y'all been doing. Netanyahu's incentivized to drag us back into the war because as long as this motherfucker's in war, he's staying out of prison. So he's choosing between dropping bombs on fucking kids or him going to fucking prison. That's what he's choosing between. And it's not a hard choice for Mr. Netanyahu. By the way, I seen your son change his name again, because you just gave the family such a bad name, Mr. Netanyahu. You give them such a bad name that they got to go and sneak and change their last names again. He said, who do you think is coming in 2027 through the midterms? I think the Democrats is going to run it. I don't really care about that. I'm curious in the political world. I'm curious about this Mandomni thing and how it develops because I can see. I mean, I told you guys, I'm a son of what's those movies called? Left Behind or Left 4 Dead or Left Behind, the Christian movies, right? About the rapture. And always in those movies, there's like an Islamic rise or, it's like a religious holy war. So I'm really curious on this Mandomni thing because I knew when he was running for New York and I'm like, oh, that's the capital of the world. Like that's that place, man. And listen, him getting elected in New York is a big fucking deal because if he can speak to the heart of New York and corporate capitalist America, the capital of corporations in the world, which is New York, if he can convince and get those people, he can get 52%. He can win popular vote. He could also win an election. So we'll see. They've been breaking all types of rules. So the midterms, I'm not so really concerned about. I mean, please, this cat and mouse game of Trump with this war is just exhausting and boring at this point. You got outclassed, you got outmatched. Iran controls the strait, nigga. Deal with it. I mean, deal with it. All we did was just turn Iran up, giving them reparations, unfreezing assets. Now we're freezing. It's just ridiculous. Breaking news: Zach Stewart is not voting Democrat for president in 2028. LOL. No way I'm voting for a socialist party right now. I know you're not, but the story to watch is how over the next 2 years, America has already gone socialist. We talked about it at the top of the screen. Watch how the next 2 years, right? You're going to hear from the American people, and they're going to hear from democratic socialist ideologies from Mandomni and others, and watch that resonate with the American people. We're going to watch over the next 2 years what the young Americans are thinking, but they don't know what the term is called. And we're going to watch Mandomni speak to these people and it register. And they go, that's the guy I'm voting for. We like him. And we're going to get the rise of a Muslim president. That's what we're going to fucking get in this country. And they're going to say Islam is taking over, which it is. It is. It's amazing to watch this in real time, right? We get, me and Lane been telling you guys about this holy war, the three big Abrahamic faiths and their role in this since 2024. I mean, even before 2024, but definitely since 2024, we've been having our eye on this whole greater Israel, Christian nationalism, evangelical nationalism, Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, and then Islam, Iran, all of these different fractions. I got my eye on this whole thing because I know how this story usually turns out. And in fact, guys, a lot of America 250 and like I was telling you guys, the Dark Ages and Christopher Columbus and a lot of that before that, man, you guys really need to read about the Crusades and the different holy wars and really understand why a lot of these countries and places were formed and how long they were ruled under Ottoman or Spanish colonial the Catholics and these rules and these reigns of religious governance and how long they ruled and reigned and spread their beliefs, right? Those are the Pope and the Vatican and El-Aqsa and the Temple Mount and all these historic, 1,000-year-old, 2,000-year-old historic sites, right? That's the type of history I'm into, right? Zach said, Dems need to move toward the center, not to the far left. The thing is, as much as I agree with you, Zach, because I think the country needs something more centered, but I think we're in that tug of war game between as much right. And we've been saying this, they've been going back and forth for years, right? The country will go far right with Trump, right? In one way. And then you got the Proud Boys that come out in 2015, and then you got all that racial riots and Black Lives Matter versus all that shit, right? Then it'll swing back far left, right? And then so you get the Joe Biden administration, liberal agenda, trans rights, super left, super fucking left, right? Then it swings back far right with Trump, and then he's back in with MAGA, Merica First, and Charlie Kirk, and Chuck the Builder, and extremist right, white nationalists, make America great, America, 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 white, proud, right? And then it's going to swing back far left again. It's going to swing back far left. But I think this far left move is going to be democratic socialism. Lane, your guy, Van Domney, like I said, I got my eye on him. He's doing everything. I've been riding with Van Domney. He said, how you going to tell the Dems to do anything when the Republicans been dropping the ball this whole damn presidency? It's been a mess. I ain't gonna lie, it's been a fucking mess. It's been a mess. Dems are too nuts for me now. The pendulum always swings back and forth. I agree, Zach. And I also agree. He said Tucker for president. I told you we're going to get a Tucker Mandomney or Tucker. Who's my guy from Kentucky that just got ousted? I'm having a brain fart. Zach, help me out. Who's my guy from Kentucky that made the release of the Epstein files? Thomas Massey. We're going to get a Tucker and Thomas Massey car. Tucker and Thomas Massey on the right. Tucker and Thomas Massey on the right. One of them's going to get assassinated, right? And then we're going to have on the left, we're going to have Mandomney. We're going to have Gavin Newsom and Michelle Obama will be a part of these talks. Watch. Michelle Obama is like the Jay-Z of the political sphere, right? The Dems are only going to call on her at ultimate. She ain't going to do it, but she's the last resort that can get Trump up out of here. Mandomney can't run since he's from Nigeria, but yeah, they're going to change all that. All that's going to get taken care of, right? We've seen rules be break and switched all the time for Trump, and by it always listen to the story that I'm telling you. Mandomney's going to be involved. Mandomney's going to be involved. You can bet your ass that. You can bet your ass that. What else do I got to get off my chest, man, before we go and get on this fucking flight? I love your positive political attitude, Stefan. I just got to look at this shit like, not sports, but like, theater. I love watching the back and forth. I told you, I'm aptitude. I'm right up out of it. I'm all involved in the soup. I definitely I look at the soup, I stir the soup, but I don't be drinking that motherfucker. You feel me? I don't be involved in it like that. I don't be involved. The most I did was go out there and voted to ban these data centers. Shout out to Melissa. We got to do something. She did, and thanks to Miss Melissa and the wonderful people of Springfield. And maybe your boy threw some help out there. I told you guys months and months ago to contact your local district. Ours was Michael Turner, and I think the other gentleman, I can't remember his name. I gave you guys the number, but I've been telling you guys. And we were able to get at least a moratorium. He said, I can't wait to see it on, you want me to talk about the Odyssey? Yeah, I'll talk about that real quick. But the moratorium got passed in Springfield to investigate. And I see people being confused. Some people saying, oh, well, the two that are being built are already coming down the pipeline. And so y'all didn't do shit. But like, even if we stopped and halted the investment of future data centers, that's good enough for me. There's one already built. I already know there ain't shit we can do about that. I ain't calling for nobody to do shit about that. You know, that one's gonna get it. That's gonna be handled. I'm not making a threat. I'm just saying it is what it is, right? You got to deal with what I say. And he said Tuck will be third party. Fuck Massey though. Don't worry, I vote enough for the both of us. Damn, why is it fuck Massey though? That's hate. I told you, Tuck. It's fuck Tuck. Fuck you mean? Tuck's the controlled opposition. Tuck is CIA as fuck. I fuck with Tuck. Tuck was at the fight last night. Tuck and fucking Theo Von and Vince Vaughn. Theo Von, Vince Vaughn, and Tucker Carlson was at the fucking fight last night hanging out. Oh, shit. I'm stretching. But I needed that. Can't remember where I was fucking going. Fuck. Can't remember where I was going, but yeah, we'll see. We will see. Oh, I was talking about the data center bans. Yeah. We got the moratorium passed for that. Thank God. So even if it halts the future investment of, he said Rubio all the way from me. Stop it. He's a thief. He down there stealing all types of shit in Venezuela. Thief. He's a damn thief and a crook. Trump getting all his boys paid straight up. Straight up. I'm just telling you what I'm just telling you what it is. Trying to tell y'all, Zelensky getting paid, they money laundering money through Ukraine. Trump all in bed with the oil companies. We seen his son and shit get fucked up on Polymarket and try to these niggas is frauds. They stealing money. They is getting rich fast. It's so crooked, bro. These people are so crooked. It's unfucking believable. Unbelievable. Real quick before we talk about the Odyssey. Or I'll talk about the Odyssey, then I'll close at the last topic. The Odyssey comes out this week. We all about to go see it, and we ain't all going together, but we all about to go see it apparently. Zach, I know you got your tickets. I'm getting my tickets. I'm going in Miami. Lane, we going in Miami, and IMAX too. And this is the blockbuster movie. This is the movie of the year, right? This is the biggest anticipated movie. Christopher Nolan, his follow-up to Oppenheimer. I think he's the best director. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You would never see me in office. But yeah, I mean, this is Nolan's time, man. I'm hearing great things on the pre-screening. No CGI in this. I'm so fucking curious and so geeked to see how he pulls off. Because, you know, the Odyssey and the story of Odyssey and Homer and all that shit, there's a lot of sea monsters and Loch Ness monsters and big fucking water and all. So no CGI in this, bro. And from the scenes I've seen, the water scenes look fucking fire. He said, did you see the new trailer for Dune 3? I did. Dune 3 comes at the end of the year too. It's been a great year for movies, man. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how Christopher Nolan, and you know, he's the best, to me, he's the best movie director as far as visuals. And you know, you got your Villanueva with Dune and the sci-fi shit that he done. I think he done Blade. I mean, you got your different directors, but I would say Christopher Nolan's films are already super immersive. You think Interstellar, I mean, usually a good story. You think Tenet, you think obviously The Dark Knight. I mean, just Nolan's filmography is just flawless. It's flawless, right? And yeah, he doesn't have a movie below B or a B plus. He just doesn't. Maybe I would say B. So I was talking to Khalil and I'm like, okay, I know the movie's not going to be bad. And I know it's not going to be mid. I know it's going to be good. I know for a fact the movie's going to be good. The question is it great? Is it all-time great? Is it going to blow my mind? Am I going to be stuck on it? And how, like, I got different questions. He said, did you see Sean Penn is doing a movie about January 6th? I also did see that. That's going to be interesting. I've been asking for more war movies, more current things. And I think Hunter told me there's a movie coming out about a more recent war. I can't remember. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is going to be in it. Yeah, that's going to be a good fucking film too. But yeah, I'm excited for the Odyssey, man, in IMAX. Like, I'm geeked. Like, that's really one of the highlights. Going to be one of the highlights of my trip. I'm sorry. Like, I'm going to see it Thursday night, and I'm going to be geeked, bro. I'm going to be geeked to watch this movie and get it out the way. I can't wait for it to start streaming, or I can buy it, because I know it's going to be visually one of the movies I'm going to watch. Like, I mean, I've watched every one of Christopher Nolan's films. Not everyone, but the big ones. I watch each of his movies, like the big ones, at least three upwards of 3 to 10 times, depending on what it is. Inception and Interstellar, I've seen over 10 times. Dark Knight, I've seen over 5 times. Memento, I've seen maybe 3 times. What did I say? Oppenheimer, I've only seen twice. I've only seen Oppenheimer twice, but I really like that film. He got another one too. Dunkirk, I've only seen 1.5 times. I've seen Dunkirk 1.5 times. But long story short, I know I'm gonna watch Nolan's films multiple times, so I can't wait for it to be out so I can buy it. I know this is gonna be one of them films I can already see because of the cinematography opportunities in this film, like with the scenes and where the terrain that they're going to be covering, the water, the mountains, the treacherous woods and different. I know he's going to fucking body it. He's going to tear it up. So I can't wait. I'm geeked. He said I need to go back and watch all of Nolan's films. Yeah, that's something you should do this week. The Prestige. Yeah, I've seen The Prestige once, though. But yeah, speaking of boats and Odysseys, what do y'all think about this Nolan Wells situation? I don't know if y'all read up on it or know much about it, but I wanted to give my initial takes. It's like that's one of the things that's happened since the last time I streamed, right? I think this happens on July the 4th. Matter of fact, you get, I think, teenage Nolan Wells out in the Mississippi, an uninhabited barrier reef that he went on to a little boating trip with his friends after spending the night with his friends. And he goes onto the boat. He's a football player, football team, just young kids doing young kid shit. They go on the boat. The boat, I think, apparently stalls out or whatever. Something's going on with the fuel pump or something. So allegedly, Nolan Wells ends up missing, right? He's missing July 4th, 5th, and his body's found on the 6th. So the 4th and the 5th, social media is kind of going on with the story. I'm following it as it's going on while he's missing. Like, Mississippi football star missing, 16-year-old Nolan Wells missing, boating trip. So I'm reading all through it. It sounds suspicious as hell to me the whole time. I'm like, don't sound right? Friends come back on the island on a boat with his phone. He's not there. They don't have no recollection of when he got off, why he got off, where he got off. They're trying to piece together the story, but he's not on the boat, right? Then they find the body 2 days later. So to me, automatically like rings red flag when I'm reading it, even before he's pronounced dead. When he goes missing, I'm like, don't sound right. Don't sound right. But allegedly, in their words, he decided to stay back and talk to this girl, or yada yada yada. He stayed back by himself, apparently on an uninhabited little barrier reef island thing. But he somehow manages to like leave his phone, and in the midst of staying back, he must have somehow, he ended up drowning somehow. His parents call bullshit, but they've been really graceful so far. I'll be honest. The parents have been, even the first day when he was missing, and July 5th when he went missing, they've been really, really graceful to me. They didn't come out immediately accusing and wanting to put hands and feet on people. They was just like, we need condolences, we need time to grieve. Please respect us during this time. But now, as social media picks the story up, we see Ben Crump get involved. I think he's picking it up. I think Tyler Perry is paying for the funeral costs. Colin Kaepernick is covering an independent investigation into the autopsy. Because we're gonna wait all day for the toxicology report from the state, and it's Mississippi. Ain't no telling what the fuck this toxicology or this autopsy is gonna come back. So they'll begin an independent look at this, and now you're seeing the parent, like the mom, come out and say it sounds suspicious, and that she believes that missing photos of that day on the boating trip was deleted. Text messages have been deleted from his phone. There was I seen a little viral video of a little argument that was allegedly Nolan Wells, but one of the friends said that was not him. He was off to the side during that argument. But I want to know more on, did they follow up that question? Like, okay, what was the argument about? The other thing I want to know is, like the photos may have been deleted and stuff like that. But I think one of the interesting things today that you might be able to get, and I'm sure, forensic evidence will pick this up, and smarter people than me, right? I don't think I'm the brightest crown in the box, but I feel like, can we check his algorithm? Like, can we? Because one of the things that your phone picks up on is speech, right? It picks up on speech patterns and prediction for prediction markets, right? What we talked about earlier. So I feel like if there was some sort of argument or some sort of, distinction between him and his people, I feel like the long language models can prompt it if you type in certain things on his Google search, or if you just go to his Instagram or you go to his TikTok and see his algorithm. Shit you literally say that suggestive on your suggested feed, it will pop up. So if you literally have an argument and y'all are using certain key phrases and stuff like that, when you get on your Instagram the next day, it will have some shit from that argument in there. Not verbatim, but just a little shit to let you know that it heard that you had an argument, or you use certain words that indicates argument. So that be happening. So I'm saying, I don't know if you need forensic evidence for this, but I'm sure if there was some beef or distinct beef between Nolan Wells and his people, you might be able to go through that phone and really find something. The mom alleges that photos and Snapchats have been deleted. But I mean, yeah, everybody knows. I mean, everybody with a fucking brain feels like it sounds. But the thing is, everything sounds skeptical today. Everything, nothing ever jives out. Everything sounds skeptical, right? And then, there's a deeper conversation out there. I'm about to be in motherfucking Miami, and I already joked with Lane and shit like that. I'm going down there, and, we might get on the water a little bit and shit like that. And I might be the only nigga. So it's like, yikes. You feel me? It's horrible timing. That's what I'm saying. It's just horrible timing for me. You got me all paranoid. I'm going to be on boats and shit, hand palms sweaty. I ain't sitting on no ledges, guys. I ain't sitting on no ledges. I ain't jumping off no boat. I ain't staying on no island. I ain't doing none of that. So if any funny business happens, blame Lane. It was Lane. Straight up. He got me whacked. He got me out of here. Lane, I'm sorry. I had to blow your cover. Bro. If I end up off a boat or anything, it was Lane. Straight up. Bro, stop barking. But yeah, y'all tell me what y'all think. Do we say foul play? Do we think it's foul play? Do we think it checks out? He just ended up drowning and leaving his phone on the boat, and all his friends returned to the island except him. Does that jive out? Or some of us are parents on there. How do we feel about, sending our kids out into those different environments where they may be, the outlier, whether that be due to race or religion or anything like that? How comfortable do we feel? And he said, damn you, Lane. And, what can we do to prevent this from happening in the future? Like, we'll see. Definitely something that I'm wanting to keep my eye on this case. I definitely smell, foul play on this. Definitely smell foul play. Also, drowning. He said, damn, BB paid me out. How I'm going to get it done now? Real, that makes sense, man. We going on this vacation. He talking about he getting all this money and shit. There you go. That makes sense, dog. Sorry I had to blow your cover, though, Lane. Got to keep me around. You ain't killing me in Miami, dog. Not happening. I don't want no funny business. I don't want no Princess Diane shit happening either. He said, BB paid Lane to whack you. BB out here trying to do it. He need to be worried about his corruption cases. BB got a lot of corruption cases. I know he be paying people. BB's thing, he loves bribery. For some reason, that's BB's thing. He loves bribery. He loves bribing people. He loves blackmail. He loves bribery. Go read BB's corruption cases. They're all centered around bribery. Just tell you what type of guy he's on. He loves having bribes over people or bribing. You know what I'm saying? He's all about blackmail. So I can see it, but I got my eye on you, Lane. You ain't getting rid of me that easy. Everybody in my family knows where I'm going. I'm sharing my location. Everybody knows who I'm going with, and everybody's have been given the warning that I better make 2 feet, 2 arms, and 2 hands back to Springfield, Ohio safely by June 18th, or there will be hell to pay down in Miami, guys. I'm just telling you. Anything else, man? I got 10 more minutes. I can get 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. I mean, we can talk about the Charlie Kirk thing. Charlie Kirk trial has begun. Erica Kirk's in there asking for evidence to be released to the public because they think they got overwhelming evidence, the prosecutors versus the defense. The defense hasn't even really presented anything much yet. Right now, it looks like the prosecution team is just kind of nailing the point home. We got the engraved bullet forensics back. We got the rifle matching of the bullet. We got the shell casing. We got the fake. We got the fake evidence. He said, maybe I'll follow you in. Maybe I'll follow you in disguise. We have the fake text between Tyler Robinson and his gay lover. We got the Discord chat of Tyler Robinson admitting to it. Then we got the him turning himself in. You know, overwhelming evidence, right? So I don't even know what this whole thing's all about, honestly. He said Candace Owens. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that here's the thing. Both of these things can be true, right? You know, Tyler Robinson could be the shooter. He could be, he could be a patsy. And there could be some foreign influence in these affairs. I told you guys, everybody's just rolling out the MK Ultra thing in this. I think for a while now that they've been doing experiments like they were doing back in the 60s with the hippie era and the MK Ultra era, Agent Orange and all that shit, where they're doing these literal operations. Me and Hunter have talked about this for years now, and I hate to be insensitive and go all Alex Jones on people, but I'm just telling you, some of these big old shootings or assassination attempts, it'd be borderline psyops, borderline MK Ultra, bro. Just telling you. I mean, you think of Dylan Roof, or not Dylan Roof. Was it Dylan Roof? No, it was something else. Roof. That was the second assassin. Who was the first assassin? Kid who tried to assassinate Trump. What was his name? Thomas Crooks. You think of Thomas Crooks, right? And there was somebody else, bro. But yeah, you think of Thomas Crooks. It's like, where is it at? Sorry, guys. Let me share my screen. He said brainwashing. Yeah, that's exactly right, Zach. That's exactly right. That's exactly what I believe. But you think of Thomas Crooks, man. The whole story just stinks of foul play. You think of the roof guy that tried to shoot him through the bushes. You even think of the correspondent dinner a few weeks ago. It's just like, again, a lot of even the Trump explosion thing. And maybe it is Iran. Maybe Iran. Is it Iran or is it Israel? Let's just be real. He said, I saved your life too many times. You know you'll be fine. But that's why I'm kind of scared, Lang. That's why I'm kind of scared. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of scared. You might try to dumb me a third time. But all of these things just stink of conspiracy because we don't get no follow-up on them. This Thomas Crooks guy just disappears within thin air, kills himself. Yeah, no social media erased, no social media history, nothing, just gone, right? Story gone. Trump doesn't investigate it. Trump doesn't care, right? Other guy tries to. I mean, just the list goes on and on. Is it Iran doing these things, and is Iran really trying to get Trump assassinated? And they're using their intelligence to hire these people to do it, or is it Israel who's holding all this blackmail over the country and they're pulling out all the stops so our allegiance remains tied to them? Or is it us? Is it Trump? Is Trump doing these things? Everybody predicted that he was going to pull the correspondent thing. We was waiting on him to try to pull another stop out at UFC 250. We thought something was going to happen. And nothing did happen, but guess what came out of that? A report came out of that saying that somebody was allegedly planning an assassination attempt that day, a whole coordinated assassination attempt, right? And this isn't too rare, right? We know that Secret Service and you could go through the reports of alleged assassination attempts or alleged assassination plots. If you read up assassination plots on presidents, it's far and many, right? So it's not that rare that these many people are trying to assassinate the president, right? That's why you have the Secret Service. That's why you have the security personnel that you do for the president. However, all of these different plots that sometimes manifest, right? It's kind of like, I don't know. It smells a little bit fishy. So again, the Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson thing. I don't understand why it can't be both, right? Why can't there be international or foreign intelligence involved, and why can't it be Tyler Robinson's grandpa's rifle? Why couldn't it be the bullet? Why couldn't it be in the casing? I do got questions though, and I'm hoping forensics in a lot of this case, answers a lot of the questions, right? Like, how did he honestly get off the roof, reload or reassemble the rifle? Where was the shell casings? The slope roof was too hard for the Secret Service, but not too hard for this young kid, inexperienced guy to get down and do all that. I got questions about all that. The view from the back from Charlie Kirk, the exploded mic theory, Charlie Kirk's alleged ties with the with AIPAC organizations, and the tweet by Netanyahu, and then the Russian part of it, the Iran association with it, the interceptors being turned off through Egypt, or the transmissions through Egypt, and all this different shit that done came about from this case. I am curious about getting answers from. But what I'm willing to say is that it's very possible that it's both. That it could be foreign influence in the assassination attempt, and it still be Tyler Robinson, right? I think, and they're going to try to settle for. The thing is, you got Turning Points USA, and Erica Kirk. They're just trying to slam the door shut. The problem is they're trying to slam the door shut and place all the blame on Tyler Robinson. And a lot of Americans are saying, whoa, 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 let's look a little bit deeper. And that's where they get mad. That's where they're saying anti-Semitism or conspiracy theorists or wild, all this shit. And it's like, no, we're not saying that. We're not saying Tyler Robinson didn't do it. We're just saying, is there not something else going on at hand? Is there not foreign influence on this? Is this not a bigger plot or ploy going on? Is there no other hands in this? We want to be sure. So that's where I'm at with that. But yeah, right now, overwhelming evidence that stems back to Tyler Robinson. But again, I don't want that to get lost on the fact that I don't think that the buck stops at Tyler Robinson. I think that we got to dig a little bit deeper, and we got to look at the proxies that might be behind Tyler Robinson to entice this, right? The whole engraving of the bullets on "Eat this, fascist," and I don't know. I'm from Ohio, and I guess we know kids like this, but like, do we really know kids like this? You know what I'm saying? I guess we're getting older. I'm getting a little bit older. Maybe we're getting a little bit out of touch, but I don't know. And then to go on your Discord and admit it, or put, text your gay lover that you text your roommate that you did it, and all these different things. It's just like, I don't know. They're rookie mistakes, but the guy is a rookie. But they just seem too rookie. It just, his shit that happened after the assassination doesn't match up with his ability to get the assassination done. If this kid is able to climb up on that slope roof, pull it off, get past Secret Services, camp out, get there, load the gun, jump down, unload the gun, put the rifle back together, run with it on his shoulder all the way to where he ran to, engrave the bullets, all this different shit, but he can't be smart enough to know. Now, maybe, he said Grandpa Stephen. Maybe these new kids is like that. A lot of them struggle from autism. They grew up on Call of Duty and grew up on Grand Theft Auto. I don't know. Maybe it's all the fucking Mountain Dew or the fucking Tide Pods that they were eating. I don't know. I seriously don't know. So maybe it's possible that he's that smart in that sense, but he's really, really dumb socially to know not to like text your gay fucking lover that. I don't know. We got to get witness testimony. We shall see. I'm also curious and interested about the guy that yelled, "It was me," and then they arrested him, and it wasn't him, and it bought Tyler Robinson more time to get away. And then that guy turned out to be like, having a whole bunch of fucking child porn on his phone. Like whatever happened about that? I'm really curious. So we'll see. We'll see. But I mean, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This was a long one. I really could have went another hour, but I got to get packing. I got to get going. We down in Miami. We about to be turning it up another notch. We got the Cubans. We got the mestizos. We got the Latinos. I'm ready for Miami, man. I've never been to the beach, guys. Never been to the beach. So I got to get these toes done up. I got to, Lane, don't even say nothing. I already know. Got to get these toes done up. Got to get on this beach. I can't wait to see it. We're going to be looking at, I think we might be looking at the Gulf or the Atlantic. The Atlantic's going to give me a little bit, a little bit of motion on all the bones at the bottom of that damn thing. The Gulf is going to be the Gulf of America. That will be interesting. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm excited. I also got to get some dinner. Do you think Tyler Robinson will get the death penalty? I think it depends on how he goes about it. It depends on the plea. It depends on the plea. I think Tyler Robinson will get the death penalty if he seriously seems like he's trying to fight this, and it seems like he might be a voice. He might talk too much and blow up other hands that were involved. If Tyler Robinson does too much talking, or his defense team does too much talking and pointing narratives into another direction that might lead us to investigate other people, then they're going to give this nigga the death penalty. His ass is grass. But if he's willing to just kind of play fair, let them pow him a little bit, try to act like he's fighting the case or whatever, and play his role. If he plays his role and gets back on that psychiatric medicine that they got him on, that got him all looped up to do this shit, right? If he plays that role and they can give him his meds again, then they won't give him the death penalty. They won't. They'll put him in a secure prison. They'll take care of him. But we'll see. We'll have to see. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in another episode, man. We had a long one here. Got off to a rough start, but I appreciate everybody for tuning in. It'll be another week or so before I'm back on. A lot of shit will go on then. Again, Americans, read y'all's fucking history. My brothers and sisters, my white brothers and sisters, my Caucasian brothers and sisters, please stay out of our way if they're trying to talk reparations. Let us get our money. I need that $200,000. You feel me? I need it. Future getting off the hook again. Unbelievable. Just absolutely unbelievable. Hov, we know you're up to bat. I'm really interested in seeing what you do tonight. And I'm ready for the album announcement, and then I'm ready to go from there and see what this is all about. If you do come out with an album, I seriously hope it's kind of like a Avengers of a whole bunch of old legends. Like, I want you to do the old nigga shit. Like, have an album with Rakim on, have an album with Nas on it, MC Sham, Slick Rick, Big Daddy Kane, all of them. Just go that way. I'll be curious to see how you can cultivate an old school album, right? And put them on. And then what else happened? Nolan Wells, prayers to the family. Seriously, tragic event. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on that. And then obviously this Charlie Kirk situation, coming up on a year on the assassination. Rest in peace, Lindsey Gay Graham Cracker. No, I'm just playing. Nobody put that in the comment. All right, guys. That concludes my stream for today. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. As you guys know, like and subscribe to the page, comment, hit the bell as well in the corner, and tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We gotta get our interactions up. So he said, "You're not the IRS. No money for you, at least not for me. You're not the IRS."